a lot of people talk about jihad, right? And, some people say that jihad is like basically just means violent terrorism, and then others say that it's a peaceful struggle. And this video is clearly about the fact that in the Quran, the jihad is described as a peaceful ideological struggle. So people who say that it means terrorism automatically according to the Quran either haven't read the Quran or are lying, because let's look at this. I'm going to go through this in a few different contexts, and there are two different types of jihad in the Quran too. So I'm going to read this part just from the introduction of my version of the Quran, and uh, it includes the passage that people misinterpret. But basically, basically in the Quran, there's no justification for holy war or violent jihad. But just like with any religion, anything can get interpreted in any possible way. So it's reinterpretations that are why jihad to terrorists means violent jihad, like violent killing of non-Muslims. But this is not at all what it means in terms of Islam in general. And remember, these newer brands of Islam, like Wahhabism, for example, like what Al Qaeda and Bin Laden and ISIS believed, these are very new and radical strands of Islam. A lot of people know that, for example, in the 60s, I forget whether it's the 60s and 70s, there are those famous photos of Iran with women just dressing like traditional common Western women at the time, like not having to wear hijabs, and I think they were allowed to drive and whatnot. So the problem is with people and their interpretations of the Quran, not the way jihad is described in the Quran itself. And you can see this with the current struggle in terms of Israel and Palestine too, because Islam and Christianity have a lot to do with it. And then people get confused and think it's about anti-Semitism and are accusing both sides of the conflict, people who support Israel and support Palestine, as anti-Semitic. And obviously it's way more complex than that. Anyway, I don't need to talk about the geopolitical situation in Israel-Palestine.